Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 34, DJI Neo, new release date. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. We got a packed house already in here. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's see who we all have in here. We got a crew already. My goodness. Let's see. Akarasho, Jaybird, Drone Shots. Mute my other screen here. CT Pirate. David Martin Graff, Leonard Oglesby, Dr. Ted, John Olson, Quadcopters in Tech. Let's see who else. Let's see. US Captain Joe America. I think I saw Captain Ray is here. Let's see. Wow. Real Art is here. Big Orange Drone Flyer Zach is here. Let's see. Flying John is here. Flying Plane Media. Wow, you guys. Fly Guy Merrill. Wow. Richard's here. My goodness, you guys just packing the house in tonight. All right, that's what I kind of like to hear. Okay, what I'm dropping for you here in the comments is, and we're going to take a look at this real quick. Now, many of you thought that my very first channel was Bill the Drone Reviewer. You would be incorrect. That happened 2 months after Bill the Technology Reviewer. Well, guess what? Okay. Recently got the logo updated, and I'm going to be posting videos out here again. And it's going to be videos like chargers that I review or accessories that I review will go out here. And I'm getting a lot of product in from other sources. I'm getting a cordless leaf blower in. I'm getting a battery that I can use for ham radio. Decided, you know what? I can put them out on my main channels, but I can also put them out here as well too. I dropped a link in the description. Subscribe to it. I'm going to put new content out there, and you guys subscribe. I'm going to be having some giveaways. Okay. Because several of these products, I'm just absolutely totally going to give away. Some of the small handheld ham radios, I'm going to be giving some of those away. So we're going to do some of that here. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, sign up. I'd like to see those numbers go up, because I know, because it was driven. I did a lot. I thought maybe I could build it around, because there was a lot of updates on smartphones, and then that's just a whole, people do that full time 100%. No. So no, but definitely get out there, subscribe to it. Bill the Technology Reviewer. Okay. We're going to be cranking that up again. There's going to be content coming out there, and I'm going to separate the old content from the new. So that'll be clear for you guys. So, the other thing is this, which is finally some, good news weather-wise here. No tropical formation expected next 7 days. Hallelujah, Hollywood. That's all I got to say. When you live in an area that at least 6 months out of the year, you kind of got to be vigilant with weather forecasts and pay attention to things. It's those ones that sneak up on you that like, oh yeah, well, nothing happening for at least 7 days. So we're really good with that. Bill Thomas is in the house. Welcome, Bill. Yeah, Dr. Ted, just about. It's like Ham Radio Basics, Bill the Drone Reviewer, Bill the Drone Reviewer Classics, Bill the Technology Reviewer, Tundra Nation Basics, and I have Florida Panthers Nation. So yeah, I got a lot to occupy me, especially when I hang up my my laptop, proverbial laptop, for work, whenever that's going to happen. So, but yeah, so wow, okay, and we're going to talk about it later when Marcus and Ron join me. But I was kind of surprised we haven't seen anything about the Neo, but we're going to get to that here. But yeah, good news. We were supposed to get a break from the humidity, but no, we didn't. So yeah, that didn't happen. So, oh well, those kind of things are there. So, last night, and by the way, great show on Drone Nation last night. I thank you, Ron and Marcus, for having me on. It was a great evening. Captain Ray was there. It automatically was a great evening because Captain Ray was on. But Be that as it may, it was fantastic. Oh, and I don't know if Bob Dempsey's in the chat or not, but I'm going to invite Bob next week to come and be hang out with us for the hour and talk about the Vegas drone meetup. Wanting to see if we can get some numbers going up for there. It's not going to work for me for, the biggest reason for me is time off, and that time of year, it's very close when we go up to Ohio. So that's why, that's one thing, because actually, if you think about it, if you fly from a major city, airfare is pretty reasonable out to Vegas. It really is. And maybe if you can carpool with some people or Uber from the airport, that may help with expenses. I know Bob's done his due diligence with getting great accommodations out there. He's worked very hard. Really want to see this work and really want to see him do well with this. So we're going to get him on next week. Mark White's here. Welcome, Mark. Good to see you as well. Last night on the show, I said, you know what? We had brought it up briefly about the drone ban. And I said, you know what? I think everything else is going to go on. They're just going to sweep aside, put it under the table. We're not going to need to worry about this. Okay. This is just one of those things. No big deal. No big deal here. So what do you know? I got to turn a fan on. It's a little warm in here. So, no big deal. All right. So I'm getting ready for the show today. What do I see? Okay. Make your voice heard to prevent DJI ban, drone maker reminds. Okay. All right. Senator Tester is essentially supporting the inclusion of the CCP Act, aka DJI Drone Ban, as amendment to Senate's FY fiscal year NDAA, which we knew. More specifically, the lawmaker wants to add Chinese drone manufacturer DJI and Autel Robotics to the FCC Commission covered list, which would prohibit China-made drones from connecting to U.S. communication infrastructure. Get the Department of Defense to determine whether additional Chinese drone manufacturers should be added to the list of Chinese military companies operating in the United States. Establish a grant program to enable state and local law enforcement agencies, fire departments, and other first responders to replace their existing DJI systems with secure drones. As a consolation for existing DJI and Autel users, Tester has specified that his demands would apply only to future drone models and that those who already have purchased Chinese drones would not be affected. Okay. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Okay. Because that opens up a whole bunch of questions here. It's crucial to ensure your voices are heard and your perspectives are considered before they return to session on September 9th. Possible, invite them out to fly a drone so they can see for themselves how important these products are and how safe they are to use, DJI says. We encourage you to visit the Drone Advocacy Alliance to learn how you can make your voice heard, okay? Yeah, and that's an important thing, okay? And let's go out here. I do want to spend a minute on this because I think, it's, we thought we were going to not, and then boom, it's kind of like just raises its head again. If you guys aren't part of Drone Advocacy Alliance, go out there, sign up. It takes less than 5 minutes. They are at the forefront of trying to spearhead an effort to stop this from happening. And the more voices that we hear about this, the better. Yeah, Mark, yeah, 100%, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. It's been, the intelligence of some of these lawmakers confounds me. Okay. And I'm just going to stick to it for drones. I'm not going to go political here at all. We don't do that here on Build a Drone Reviewer, but it amazes me the intelligence level of this. So go out there here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to post this link here for you guys for Drone Advocacy Alliance. If you have not signed up, please do so. It takes 5 minutes. And they do have pre-filled forms to contact your representative, your senators. And I believe you can find phone numbers for them as well. Do so. Give them a call. So, get a message together. You can customize it and make it your own. Do so. the more you get out there, the better. And the more that we send to them, the better. Now, I want to tie something into this here because I saw another article today, and this was out on Drone DJ. Yeah, let me see if I can get this up here. Okay. One of the things that we've said here, and yes, and so is Marco Rubio, and but both of them, in fact, are. And it's actually, I've actually been able to leave a message for Rick Scott's office. Marco Rubio doesn't even have answering machines. Go figure. I have no clue. I have no clue. Yeah, you're right, Casey Crime Fighter. Yeah, they're clueless. They are absolutely, positively clueless on this. Okay, they have been told and fed a lot of misinformation. That's pure and simple. And you know what, Marco, Senator Rubio, Senator Scott, and Representative Buchanan, who's my congressman, okay? I invite you on the show, okay? And you know what, better yet, I invite you over to a field and where I can fly one of my DJI drones and show you what it does, okay? And show you what the information that I get back from that, okay? I would be more than happy to do that, or to have you on the forum here, okay? To have you on the show here. I would be more than happy to do that, okay? I would have absolutely no problems with that, because you know what? Drones have been shown to save lives, and is my friend here, Casey Crime Fighter. He goes out and he helps law enforcement, okay? To fight crime. It's an incredible thing that he does, and it's incredible. Excuse me. It's incredible how people go out and help law enforcement like he does, and how law enforcement uses DJI drones to, help save law enforcement lives and other people's lives. So yeah, we're open to that. So tied in with this, and I think this is a good story, and it's a good, we had all said, there's some ulterior motives behind this, okay? And one of them that I think is companies like Walmart and Amazon and UPS and FedEx and who knows who else, okay? They made no bones about wanting to get into the drone delivery business. Up pops this article today. Walmart cuts drone delivery in 3 states amid high costs, okay? Walmart is scaling back its ambitious drone delivery program by shuttering down operations in Phoenix, Salt Lake City, and Tampa. Okay, wow. The decision, driven by unsustainable costs, marks a notable retreat from the retailer's 2022 expansion into large-scale drone delivery, which was touted as a revolutionary step for last-mile logistics in the U.S. DroneUp, which operates as Walmart's primary drone delivery partner, has announced the closure of 18 delivery hubs across these cities, resulting in the layoff of 70 employees, about 17% of its workforce. Despite initial enthusiasm, the company found that maintaining operations in these regions was not financially viable. Okay. And I'll let you guys read the article on your own on this, but it's really, really, really just, I don't understand. Yeah, that would be good too, Mark. That really would. That absolutely. Yeah, they probably should, James. I agree with you 100%. They're just not, these companies think, okay, because you're a retailer, all right, they think that they have everything down pat here, okay? And whoever they had consulting with them and giving them this advice, it didn't fly, okay? And they're putting the brakes to this. And you're probably going to see a lot of people, a lot of companies put the brakes to this as well too. And it's still not there. I mean, 5 years ago, okay, Amazon was talking about it big time. Hey, Ron.
Hello, Bill. How are you today?
Well, good. It's just like I said last night. Oh, don't worry about the drone ban. Well, don't worry about it. You're not going to do it. Boom. What happens up? An article pops up today in Drone DJ. Okay?
Well, they're still on vacation.
Oh, yeah. And then, okay. And then this article here, Walmart is cutting drone delivery in 3 states and 3 cities. One of them is Tampa because of high costs. Okay. And I think, and I'm trying to tie these two together here because I think, a lot of people have said one of the reasons that they want to force DJI out is to enforce us out is being able to go ahead and, do their deliveries. Well,
put all those delivery drones in the sky. Yeah.
Yeah. And now they're saying it's too costly. It's costing them too much money. They're not making money in these cities here. And I'm just, wow.
Yeah. We could have told them that 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, Amazon was patting themselves on the back and they were gearing up. And then UPS had a concept video out of a drone delivery from a truck and all this. And, everything was really being touted here. And then, it's just like, it's too costly. It's,
Yeah, I mean, one of these things, Bill, drone deliveries, I mean, if they're delivering tube socks, they're going to be losing money. They would have to have a minimum. The purchase would have to be over $100 or probably more than that to make a drone delivery worthwhile to anybody, right?
Yeah, it's not viable. It's not cost efficient at all. It's much more cost efficient, to hire an Uber driver and go do the delivery. Okay. It's costing them a lot of money to be able to do that. And they've laid off 70 people because of this. So yeah. Just because you're a retailer doesn't mean you have it down in terms of, you have it down in terms of like ground logistics, but air logistics, no, that's a whole new ball game. All right. And it's going to cost you a whole lot of money to be able to do something like this. And like you said, you got to figure the cost versus expense on this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the way drone delivery starts. It's got to be very specialized for very specialized items, Bill, and at a cost to the consumer to get that 1 hour drone delivery.
Yeah, and Johnny, by the time they hook a package to a drone, truck will deliver to 10 houses. He's right. Yeah. And Mark said drones can't lift enough weight to carry something expensive to make it viable. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, they have to be like, say, some things are expensive. They're small. Jewelry is expensive and it's small, lightweight. Medicines, some medicines are expensive, small, lightweight. So there are small, lightweight things that are expensive.
Well, yeah. Well, Amazon, I don't know if recently they've just gotten into prescriptions. Okay.
Right.
And, delivering prescriptions and medication. Yeah. That's probably something that would be good and cost effective. But other things, like tube socks and shirts and T-shirts and,
yeah.
Think about it.
And like if you need a few new memory cards for your drones, having a drone deliver that would be very cost ineffective.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that here in a minute.
Before I'm late for the show tonight, I was out driving around to all the Best Buys and stores in South Jersey. I could not find one Neo anyplace, Bill.
See, we're going to get to that here in a minute. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about was, it's out of stock now, which is real interesting. All right. The Avata 2 only by itself was $489, but it's quickly sold out. Okay. You could buy it standalone by itself for $489.
And my guess is, for the next 6 months or more, it'll be hit or miss whether it's there or out of stock. I mean, you just have to be lucky to look on the day it's in stock and get it.
Yeah, it's going to be hit or miss, and you're going to have to get out there. You could put a notification out on Amazon, when they do get more in stock. But
yeah, but then you better look at your email every 5 minutes.
Yeah, you better stay on top of something like that because people are going to jump for something like that. And now that's fantastic, especially if people have everything else. If you got the goggles, you got a controller. It's going to, it'll be perfect for you.
Especially now that it works with several goggles and several controllers now, not just the ones. Now I know we're going to get this later on, but just imagine how long it'll be before you can buy the Neo all by itself.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing here. And it really is.
Now, I bet you buying just the drone itself, man, that won't be until 2025.
You're exactly right.
And I don't mean to jump the gun on Neo.
No, we're gonna talk about the HoverAir X1 selfie drone.
The one that has a much superior camera to the Neo.
Right. They're coming out with the X1 Pro Max, or the X1 Pro and the X1 Pro Max, built on the success of their predecessor, with significant improvements in camera technology, speed, and durability. The X1 Pro comes equipped with a 1/2-inch CMOS sensor paired with a 17mm wide-angle lens, allowing it to capture stunning 4K at 60 frames per second, or slow motion footage at 1080p at 120 frames per second. This makes it an ideal companion for capturing fast-paced activities like biking and running, with auto follow speed of up to 26 miles per hour. The X1 Pro Max, on the other hand, takes things further with a 1 1/3-inch CMOS sensor and a slightly wider 16mm lens. This model can record in 8K resolution at 30 frames per second or in 4K at 120 frames per second, offering 10-bit HDR video quality. Such high resolution and frame rates cater to drone enthusiasts who demand the very best in image quality, whether for recreational filming or more prosumer applications. Both drones have been redesigned for improved functionality and aesthetic appeal. They are slightly larger and heavier than the original X1, measuring 149 by 173 by 39 millimeters and weighing 192 grams. But this new design was necessary to incorporate active collision detection on the rear and sides and improve the drone's ability to navigate safely through different environments. Perhaps most notably, HoverAir has upgraded a visual inertial odometry system in these drones, enabling them to operate over challenging terrains and even off of cliffs, areas whereas the Verge points out previous model had struggled, okay? However, there are still some unknowns. While the new VIO system supports flights over water, there's no confirmation whether the drones are waterproof for hassle-free operation near or over water bodies. HoverAir has yet to disclose the pricing and release dates for the X1 Pro and X1 Pro Max as well, but the current HoverAir X1 is available at a discount of $349 before the upcoming DJI Neo launch. Okay.
Well, as about Bill, you mentioned what sounds like this new one, the one that's not out yet, will have some form of obstacle avoidance, which that'll be an advantage over the Neo, won't it?
It sure will. I mean, this sounds like a great opportunity, and it's something I would like to explore that myself.
Of course, they never give us a cost on these new drones. The old drone was $349, so these much improved ones we're probably going to see a price bump, Bill.
Yeah. So, I know the other thing is I'm gonna bring this up too. Okay, they launched a group here, and it already has 7,800 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with that. Okay, HoverAir X1 Pro launch group. Okay, and they have a pinned comment here. Share your thoughts. Showing some different pictures. Hover X1 orbit. I'll go ahead and drop a link for this in the chat here.
Now this isn't your group, Bill, right? You're not affiliated.
No. This was started, I think, 00 Robotics or Hover started this group. I received an email invitation from them to join the group.
Okay.
Which was good. So stay out here. I think we're probably going to see this soon. When? Who knows? But I think it's going to be soon, and this is more exciting news, which is good. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with it.
Hey, Bill, just a quick thought here. Last night we talked a little bit about DJI having a kind of name advantage over Hover as far as these selfie drones. But if we're looking at a younger TikToker or Instagrammer, teenager, early 20s person that's big social media like that, the DJI name probably doesn't mean a whole lot to them, right? So DJI doesn't have the advantage with that crowd as far as name recognition. They're probably just going to be just looking at price and specs and not they don't know DJI's kind of history because they've never had a drone before.
That's a good point.
To the selfie crowd, I don't know if DJI has an advantage.
Yeah, I think you're correct right there, and I think as we were discussing, and we're going to get to this here in a minute about the Neo and all of its features. I think that's why one of the reasons that they went ahead and they packed it so full. They made it so they made it so you couldn't like it. Okay.
But what's the old saying? They threw in everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah, they did. It really. I mean, seriously, as far as a drone is concerned, it has everything. Really, it has everything except obstacle avoidance in a in a decent gimbal. Everything else it has on this drone. Everything.
Of course, the hovers don't have a 3-axis gimbal either, so
that's true.
They're
that's
all
true.
equal on that. Yeah.
That's true.
And I guess you won't even want a 3-axis gimbal in this type of drone that may kind of bump into trees and stuff like that. They don't because when it falls, nothing really breaks.
Right.
3-axis gimbal would. Yeah.
Right. You just pick the drone up and go again, which is nice. Yeah. And I think that's going to be the case with the hover. And we'll see. I mean, because the email had come out and there's been an article coming out. This is going to happen soon. When, I don't know, but I think it's going to happen soon. And, it's very curious now that they timed. Hey, Marcus, it's very curious that they timed, sending out this email and getting this group out there in conjunction with the Neo. The timing is real interesting. Let's just say that.
Right.
So what you're saying, Bill, is it's very possible that 00 Robotics could have hijacked that ship that all the Neos were coming over on.
And the wait for the Hover Pros to get here first.
Yep, they're out there. They're out there. They got them stopped in the Pacific Ocean. They're not coming anywhere, and they're going to hold off until they get the Neo out, or until they get the Hover X1 Pro out.
That shipping container is floating around someplace out in the Pacific.
Yeah,
I know Marcus messes around with a lot of drones. Have you ever messed around with a quote real selfie drone? I don't mean a regular drone that has selfie features, but have you ever messed with a dedicated selfie drone?
The closest I would come to is the Spark, Ron.
The Spark, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe, it's a Tello, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to throw the Tello in there. But the Tello couldn't detect you. It could orbit stuff like that, but it couldn't detect you as a spot to see. Yeah. So right. It's just orbiting whatever. It could be orbiting, I don't know, the trash can in the backyard and not you. Yeah.
Well, the one good thing about the Tello, and then we're going to get to the Neo. The one good thing for me that I remember from the Tello, it took outstanding still pictures. Okay, the still pictures from that were
the lack of a
incredible.
gimbal didn't hurt it with the stills.
Yeah, that gimbal was perfect for still pictures. Video was just it was bad.
Was that a 1-axis gimbal also, Marcus?
Not even a gimbal, just the Tello, you're saying?
Yeah, was that 1-axis gimbal or no axis gimbal?
No, it was just EIS, not even a gimbal.
Yeah, Marcus was right.
They did a remarkable job with it in that regard, I think.
I agree. Yeah. I think they did do a good job with that. So here, okay. All right. Well, it's that time of night. We're going to talk about the Neo update.
It's time, Marcus.
And, I was expecting, I really was, to wake up this morning, have an email, and have an invite from Ron for having a show on this morning, okay? And then, boom, I said, and then DJI sends on an email. What is it? The perfect drone to travel with email.
Yeah, like around 10.
There it is.
Yeah, the Ron Mini. The Ron
Mini 4K.
The Ron Mini 4K. That's the.
I don't want to be the guy, the controversial here, but probably, folks, if you just went out and buy the Ron 4K at $299 or whatever, you're gonna have a lot better drone than that Neo.
I wonder about that as well. Hang on, folks. It's the boss calling. I better get it.
You be Frank Wang.
It's Frank Wang.
So like you said, Bill, we kind of expected something this morning. Igor has been promoting this date for a while now, and we got crazy. But we sort of knew yesterday that something was up or whatever.
I went out.
A lot of rumors that got pushed back to September or so on. So the vibes weren't good yesterday, Bill.
I went out to Jasper's account, and it's still the same as it's exactly the same as yesterday. Okay.
It's not like DJIs can hide anything now. I mean, Jasper put it all out there. So I mean,
there wasn't anything there, and then
surprises left.
And then, of course, I went out and looked here, DJI Neo, everything we know. And we really covered this really well last night. 4K, 30 frames per second, 22 gigabytes of internal storage, automatic takeoffs and landings from your palm, quick shot photo and video modes, voice control, remoteless flight using nothing but your phone, compatibility with yet to be released RC N2 controller, FPV manual flight when using FPV and Motion 3 controllers and goggles, AI tracking algorithms, level 4 wind resistance and stabilized images video, DJI Mic 2 compatibility for rotor-free audio, 18-minute flight time, claims enough for 20 flights, $299 Australia dollar price tag for possible standard bundle, okay?
And even runs the dishwasher after dinner for you, Bill.
Yeah, it'll do the dishes for you and it'll take out the garbage. That's what I had to do tonight. That's why I got to get me one of these Neos, okay? To cut down on my chores.
You need to do to check the gate design out there before you walk out to the garbage can.
Well, yeah, I got to. You know what? Seriously, I got to look under the truck all the time. I can't park the truck in the garage. So
luckily you have a truck and not a low vehicle like Marcus. He'd have to really get down and check under the Corvette.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that, my truck sits up. I can look under it and I know we're good. And the other thing I look for, no joke, okay, I also look for snakes in the driveway too, because, people see them all the time. And as I said, for some reason right now, okay, and I don't know why, okay, water moccasins are like on sidewalks, in driveways, people's yards and stuff. And I don't know why they've
hope the alligators are eating them all up.
Probably, because the gators have been active too. And they're usually not, they said the time the gators are active are between sunset and sunup. So, they said, don't go swimming at night is what they say in the ponds. Well, you don't want to go in those ponds anyway. Okay. The chemicals they dump in there. Anyway, we're off track here. Okay.
So, Animal Nation for a minute there, folks.
Animal Nation. Okay. No event announcement yet. The original leaked announcement date was set for August 20th tomorrow, which was today. However, DJI has yet to announce any event announcements on its social platforms. This likely means that DJI will not be announcing any new products tomorrow, or the product will only be available in China. This wouldn't be the first time DJI has left the world on hold while it does an initial launch of a new product overseas. We saw this with the Fly Cart and most of the company's agriculture drones, but both eventually became available to the rest of the world. Given the increased popularity of the HoverAir X1 over in China versus outside it, it may also make sense to only make it available there before bringing it everywhere. It also doesn't help that many Western countries are not the most welcome Chinese drone manufacturers at the moment, predominantly here in the United States. Okay. So, wow. Who knows? As we've said, the only thing that's predictable about DJI is that it's unpredictable. Okay. Their marketing strategies, their release, their timing releases. We thought we had, for example, the pattern with the mini releases, okay, in November, okay. Well, last year screwed all that up, okay. That was gone. And then they come out with the Air 2S, and the next thing we know, there's an Air 3 right on the heels of that, all right. And there's a Mavic 3, there's a Mavic 3 Classic, then there's a Mavic 3 Pro. I mean, it just boom, boom, boom.
I can't really hate them in that respect that, just go ahead and release the product when it's ready rather than artificially wait for like a date like Apple. Like Apple has to release the iPhone at a certain time. I mean, that, just release something when it's ready. I mean, don't put it out early. Don't hold it back too late. When it's ready to come out, release it. Marcus.
How dare they keep us guessing? How dare they?
Yeah, how dare they hold back a little Neo drone that we probably don't need anyways?
Well, and here's something to think about. Contemplate this, okay? Does Apple have common stock? I'm not that familiar.
Yeah, you can buy Apple stock. Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, they have shareholders.
Most wise investors have a little of it, right, Marcus?
I know of some individuals that own some Apple stock. Yeah. Very well.
And some folks have even made some money off of over the years, Marcus.
It's possible. It's very possible.
It's possible.
No, sorry. I just couldn't let that go.
No, I don't blame you at all. Yeah. What I'm saying is, okay, they have a set release date that they've been having for years, okay, on or about that date, and they pretty much stick to it like clockwork with their new phone that's going to be released. And that's it's driven by shareholders. Okay.
Yeah.
They want to see their stock go up. Who doesn't want to see their stock go up? Okay. I want to see public stock go up. That's what I have interest in big time. Okay. When that stock goes up, it makes money for me. So of course, absolutely. Okay. So here, okay. And with DJI, there are no stockholders. It is not publicly traded out there. Okay. It's internal. Most of that company is owned by Frank Wang, and some banks are part of it too, but they're minority owners.
Is that more common of a Chinese-owned company, Bill?
I think so. I think when I say banks, okay, the banks are probably owned by the government. All right. So it's not. So the government does have some stakes in DJI.
And Bill, of course, some of our U.S. Congress people believe that the Chinese military mostly owns DJI.
No, it's the government.
Even said that. They've even said that DJI's prices are low because the Chinese military helps make those prices low, so they sell a bunch of them.
Well, I think that what it is here, okay, is that they don't have to answer to a board, to stockholders. Okay, they can kind of do what they want to do. Okay. Yeah. Apple is pretty driven here. Okay. They have to have that release on that date in September every year. Okay. Like clockwork. Okay.
Yes.
And they're talking like this time it's the best iPhone ever.
Yeah. They always get there. Say it's the best iPhone we've ever made. They say that every year.
It's the most improved and the best iPhone.
I to say, you know what? It's not all that good this year, but buy it anyways.
Yeah. We haven't really done a whole lot since last year. It has a little bit of a better camera, but hey,
we got a new color.
We got a new super titanium, gold, purple, blue, whatever, just, they'll do what they can. They'll put their spin on it, but it's done like clockwork. They follow a pattern. DJI does not follow a pattern. Okay. They never have, and ever since I've been, the last 7 or 8 years following them, they really don't follow. I put a spreadsheet together about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was looking at release dates and what was released, and it was consumer drone focused, and it really, even at that point in time, it did not follow any kind of a pattern, okay, or cycle.
It's almost like they're trying to make a profit or something.
Yeah.
Well, I majored in business, and one of the things that we learned was, from the professor who was fantastic. He ran his own business, so he really had firsthand knowledge. Is you plan things, you plan things ahead. You release things on a schedule, and you kind of geared towards tying in your research and development, marketing, the whole ball of wax, and you stick to that schedule because you want to make your investors happy and everything. Well, DJI doesn't do that because they don't have that in those investors. They don't have stockholders, and they don't.
More importantly, you don't have any direct competition, really.
Yeah, they are like Ma Bell. Ma Bell didn't have any competition back in the day, and they ran roughshod all over the place until the government got a hold of them and broke them up. Right. But with DJI, you're right, Ron. I mean, they have zero competition. They really do.
Yeah, Apple has to compete with Samsung, but there is no Samsung in the drone world.
Right, absolutely right.
Well, Samsung could be in the drone world if they chose to be, but
I really wish Samsung would, because I think they'd be successful with this. But
if you have enough money, and engineers to throw at a problem, you can solve everything, is what somebody once told me.
Oh yeah, you throw enough money at it, we'll solve it. I think now, it's like what, I'll say this. I'll say, what, we may not see this till September. Okay. All right. And then tonight we get the email. Okay. It says like a Thursday date or something like that. I'll go out and I'll say something, and then DJI will send that email out tonight because Frank's watching and listening to us right now.
I got a new rumor, Bill. I think DJI, they heard us talking about that coming out, and they purposely held it back to mess up us drone channels.
Yeah, they want to put the screws to Drone Nation and Bill the Drone Reviewer and Johnny Drone Flyer and Captain Ray and everybody else
especially Johnny Drone Flyer, especially.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Hey, so here's the deal. DJI is they're geniuses at marketing. They leak all this stuff out, and they get we're talking about it right now. They get everybody in a big kerfuffle over whatever they're leak little dribs and drabs out of there. And our experience has been that the more information that comes out, the closer we are to the actual release of the drone. But it'll also tell you that they probably send out a fair amount of misinformation along with the real stuff, right? And so all these people that are speculating, we all saw the spreadsheet that said September 20th. Well, clearly, either A, that individual, who was that, Igor, either A, he made it up, possible, right? Right? He wants to seem like he knows something that he really doesn't. Or B, whatever information he got from his quote contact at DJI was purposely giving him misinformation. DJI, they're just going to release it when it's ready to go and when they have stock. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider. They got to have stock in the stores. They've got to have everything ironed out as far as issues. Often there can be a last minute problem with a product, and maybe they want to make sure that that's corrected as well. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So
yeah, one of the scenario, Marcus, that 20th could have been a release date, say on July 1st, but it's not like DJI can't change that date. So maybe Igor had a leak of what the date was at one time,
Right?
And it got pushed back for any number of reasons, maybe some software issues or whatever. It could be any reason. But again, that could be an old release date that has changed. DJI has their right to change the release date as many times once since it's not announced.
However they please, yeah.
Especially since it's not on paper, it's not announced, it's not formally announced. So
Well, you see what Zach said right here. Didn't Lon say on Sunday the reviewers have their letters but no Neo yet? So
yes, that means we're looking deep into September then, Bill, before that drone comes out.
Yeah, because they're going to need
in time for Christmas, guys. What if it's November?
Oh, yeah, they're going.
Well, why don't we just get the Neo, the Air 3S? Why don't we get all the drones in the same week or whatever? They should all just put it all out in the same week.
Yeah.
Look at Johnny's comment.
Yeah, I know. Mike Wright, my friend Mike Wright, he actually respects me, and I so appreciate him. Johnny, on the other hand, gosh darn, he is a what do they call it? A PETA, and I'll let you figure out what that stands for.
We had a Chihuahua who I called a PETA. Okay, yeah. We love you, Johnny. Okay. Well, I will say this: we love you here at Bill the Drone Reviewer. All of us do.
Yeah, I was going to say, speak for yourself.
Yeah, but if it's true what Zach had said that they don't even have it yet, all right. Well, that changes the whole ball game. They're going to need a minimum of probably at least 4 weeks to test it. I would imagine
and make their release videos.
Make release videos, absolutely. I mean that you can't. That's not something. Then you can get and do some videos over the weekend and then slap. No, that's not going to work.
So then, I could whip a video together in a weekend. Marcus,
I could absolutely do that as well too. But these guys are going to want to put out 4 or 5 good videos, and they're going to need time to do that and time to test it. And because this is going to be a drone that when we get them to test them, okay, it's going to involve, we're going to want to test it using a phone. We're going to test it using a hand controller. Those of you that have goggles and are going to want to test it using goggles as well, too. There's just a whole
lot to do. Yeah.
Range of tests with this.
If you see, what's his name, Aldrin riding around, follow him around and see if he's flying it.
That's true. Potato Jet. He's another one. Okay. He's going to get
Aldrin's the one's going to have 10 videos out the first day. Potato Jet's going to make 1 video about it and you'll never see it again on his channel.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, I've tried a few times to ping Rick Smith and get him to come on. And, it's usually he will always answer my emails after a release has happened. Okay. But before a release, he's probably under NDA. Okay. And that's why I've been trying to get some of these guys to come on, and I've been getting crickets from them. And the reason I've been getting crickets is because they're probably under NDA and they can't say anything right now. And,
Right.
you know, and who knows, they may even be testing the Air 3S or Air 4 for all we know. You know, that may have gone out to them already. So who knows what's going on right now. But I know I haven't had any luck getting some of these guys on, you know, notably Rick Smith, trying to get him on the show because they're probably under NDA and they can't say anything right now.
Yes, probably more, you know, more than likely. Mike with the inside scoop.
Yeah, yep. At least Amazon graphics and text seem to be ready. Yeah. Johnny.
Well, we can't release it now until Marcus gets back from Hawaii, right? We got a whole.
Yeah.
What date do you get back from the Big Island?
You know, on the 2nd of September. But to your point, Ron, I really was hoping that I'd be able to get a hold of it this week so that I could take it.
I was too.
Yeah, but it, you know, just is what it is. Yeah.
Well, just get some footage of some other drone, and when you get back, say, I shot this with the Neo.
There you go. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Our friend here has a good point, Casey Crime Fighter. You know, DJI Smart, they'll put some space between these drones, starting with the Neo, because it's the cheapest, so we can all save up our money to get them all. And he's right. You know, it ends up, if you're crafty enough, you can go ahead. You know, I mean, not everybody can afford to be able to get all these drones, and you know, you have to get creative, and that's why one of the things right now you probably all have noticed, my Mini 4 Pro is up for sale. Okay. Because, you know, out with the old, in with the new kind of a thing. Also selling my Spectre Mini as well, too, right now.
Hey,
so,
Bill, can I respond to Angel's comment there
yeah.
about some guy over YouTube posting Neo versus Avata 2 comparisons, suppose they're fake? Okay, if Angel, if you're watching a video and somebody's doing a comparison and they never show you the drone, I mean, they only show you the video of the drone, then they don't have the drone.
Right.
Well, Waypoint New England, Lon is guessing as much as we are. All right. And as far as accurate information is concerned, we base our information, you know, we make disclaimers all the time. You know, we give no guarantees about what we come out here and tell you guys. Okay.
All we ever did is repeated what Igor posted on a Twitter account last month.
Yeah, we don't, you know, we don't.
Igor has a track record of being right in these things. This time he wasn't.
Igor and Jasper.
He's not batting 1,000 anymore, Bill.
Yep, he's not batting 1,000. And well, you know who else has been conspicuously silent about this is Osita. Haven't seen anything from him at all.
He's been silent for a long time.
Yeah,
they're all reliant on leaked information, and they you know, it's somebody that works inside the company someplace that's leaking it out. You have to figure that it's DJI probably doing it on purpose, and I suspect, like I said, that they send a certain amount of misinformation to make it sound legit and keep us guessing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those things, you know, this is not an exact science. And I know several years ago, and I think it was when the Mavic 2 was coming out, Original Dobo and I, about the same time, we both put out a video. He did his own, I did mine, but we collaborated on it. We put videos out, and we found out that all the information that we were getting was not good. It was from Osita, and it wasn't good. And we had to issue retractions on that. We kind of had to eat some crow. And it was from that point in time on forward, you know, I made disclaimers, you know, when we're going out there and we're telling you this information, okay? This is based on information that's out there, that's available to the public. we dig into it. We take a look at it. We also have our ears to the ground to see if we hear anything else regarding this. Okay. This is the best. This is a best guesstimate. Okay. We don't make any claims. We don't make any promises. Nothing is concrete until DJI puts it out there and it's out on their website.
So, Bill, I missed that part. Who did you say that you had both released about the same time? Video about the same time?
Oh, Dobo and I. And it was about the Mavic 2. That was, what, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah,
both he and I were putting out, and it was Osita, and he put out some bad info, okay? Which, and I'm going to make a comment about that, okay? These leaks come DJI blesses these leaks. In other words, they know these leaks are happening. They want these leaks to happen, okay? And they filter them out. They'll filter them out to people like Jasper or Igor or Osita or a combination of all three of them, and they get out there, and that's how we see these leaks, okay? And without that, we really don't have any accurate information, because if any of the people who the key influencers like Ken or Billy or or other ones out there, Rick Smith, they're under non-disclosure agreements. Okay, they cannot say anything about it, because if they do, boom, they're not going to get any more product from DJI to test. It's as simple as that. Okay, so they can't say anything. So leaks can't come from them, but we give you the best information that we have and what's available to us. Okay. We're as disappointed as everybody else right now. We wanted something to go today.
Bill, who do you think has this to test right now?
Right now? Okay.
Yeah.
I think your key influencers probably have them now. Like Billy and Ken and Rick Smith and Aldrin and others. Okay. I think they have them right now. And I think they're probably starting to test them now. But I think we're a ways out. I'm going to say we're probably looking a month from now. That's my guess right now.
Let me throw this at you, Bill. So, because this is a selfie drone, what if they're throwing it at not traditional drone reviewers? What if they're throwing it at, these channels that do their lifestyle videos and all that kind of stuff, because they want to show that this is a drone that those kind of influencers can use.
A drone for non-drone flyers.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of those girls that have fashion channels and things like that. They can do a little shot or whatever. Or some of the travel vloggers,
blogger that doesn't necessarily get drone travel footage, but they like a little elevated selfie of themselves or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think Marcus has a good point. Remember when the Skydio 2 came out, and they marketed to bicyclists and motorcyclists more than traditional drone reviewers, Bill?
Ron, I think you nailed it. I don't think Skydio ever wanted that drone to necessarily be for drone enthusiasts like us. I think they wanted it just for for sports enthusiast tracking, just like you said. I don't think it was ever intended for regular.
Because the afterthought, they wanted that to be a Thomas drone. They didn't want anybody basically flying with sticks.
Right.
That's a real good point, guys. About Skydio, it really is, and and to be honest with you, right now, because of I think the key influencers have probably just gotten the product this week. I think we're probably about a month out. I think this has nothing to do with inventory. I think the inventory is already out there. It's already sitting at Amazon's warehouse and Best Buy's, at Adorama, at B&H. I think it's all there. That's not the issue. The issue is it has to go through through the key influencers testing and getting that out there. And you made a good point about, getting them in the hands of some of these TikTok artists and Instagram artists who use that as a medium, because that's where the selfies, you see a lot of selfies being used there. However, I still think you're going to see, you'll probably see a few influencers there, but they'll still probably center on the drone influencers, because they know how to fly it, they know how to operate it, they're versed with it as we are as well too. So I think, because I think a lot of the TikTokers and a lot of the Instagrammers, okay, they want it's going to overwhelm them. All right. Versus you hand something like that to a Billy or Ken or Rick Smith or Aldrin, it's not going to overwhelm them. They'll be able to digest it, understand it, and get that information to the TikTokers and to the Instagrammers and all those people. So I think it's kind of a combination. I think you'll see some of them have that, but I think for the most part, you're still going to have your regular key influencers out there testing this before it's released.
And let's pick another point here. I'll go to Marcus on this. With the drones we already own now, we'll say the Mini 4 Pro, any of the modern DJI Mini drones, we could do all the maneuvers that these selfie drones do with our DJI Mini drones, right? As of right now, any move they could do, we could move with the drone we already own.
Depending on what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, a selfie or orbit yourself or do a drone to yourself, or all the basic 4 or 5 moves that the selfie drones have.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things though that this brings to the table that I was kind of surprised was tracking, and they're bragging about how good the tracking, AI tracking they call it. So that's going to be fascinating.
But we have it on our DJI Modern Minis. We have the draw the box active track type thing
on the Mini 3 Pro. The first Mini to have it was the Mini 3 Pro,
okay,
and then the Mini 4 Pro. Now my point is that DJI has never put tracking on a drone that did not have obstacle avoidance. This one does not, so it's interesting.
Mark, you weren't here earlier, but when Bill was reading the specs for the new, not the current hover, but the new hovers that are crowdfunded now, either one or both of them have obstacle avoidance.
They do or they do not?
They do. Not the current one, but the ones that are
the obstacle avoidance will be to the side and to the back, sides and the back.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
So, we'll kind of see that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I would, and I'll say this, with all you guys in the chat, and by the way, great chat tonight. You guys making a lot of great comments out there, and you're doing a fantastic job. We're every bit as anxious and frustrated as you guys are. Okay. It's something, this has been a bright spot for us, because of the doom and gloom talk with the drone ban and everything. This has been something we've been looking forward to, and in the Action 5 as well too. But and then all of a sudden, nothing. We get nothing burger yesterday, nothing today, and like I said, right now at this point, I think it'll probably be a month easily before we see something. So,
but we're all just guessing. It could be a month. It could be tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? That's just a guesstimate on my part, but who knows? Maybe we can get that email tonight, and they'll do it Thursday or Friday or whenever, who knows? Who knows?
Angel's pointing out that the Spark had obstacle avoidance. Remember the front thing, had it could see you and detect you.
Yeah, it did have that. So, but that was just on the front. That's all that did.
Yeah.
Any parting thoughts tonight, guys?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about. So I've been out flying all day. Today was our friend Tanya Gale's birthday, and we went out flying. We went out to the Boise River Gorge, I call it, right on this side of the Lucky Peak Dam, and then we went up to the Lucky Peak Viewpoint. I had kind of an interesting flight with the FIMI Mini version 3 at the Lucky Peak Viewpoint. As it was landing, completely disconnected from everything, and I had no control over the drone, and it landed in some weeds. Didn't hurt it too bad, but had that happened when it was over water, it would have been goodbye FIMI. So Ron and I have talked about this many times, Bill. With that experience, I will never trust that drone again. I will never trust it, because it disconnected not from the app, not from but the drone and the controller completely. So not only no FPV, but no control.
Because what you're getting to, Marcus, you typically lose FPV, but you still have control.
Still retain control, right? Yeah. And if you lose complete connection with it, it'll rise up to a return to high. This thing just started coming down.
Wow.
And by the way, I was recording video at the time, and I just looked at the video file just now. The video stops just when it started doing that. So again, okay, I was able to refire up. I messed around with it for a little bit, was able to refire it up and get it to connect to the controller again. But I will never trust that drone again. Therefore, I probably won't be flying that drone much. If you can't trust it to get the shot, what's the point?
Maybe a firmware update can maybe right.
Just had one, but yeah, that could be the problem.
And I echo your sentiment, Marcus, because I don't know if you guys remember, but my original PME SE, whatever version that I had, I'd get to a certain spot at the lake behind the old house we were at, and boom, I would lose connection there all the time. I mean, it was a given. And I sent them 3 videos, okay? And they finally said, go ahead, send us a drone. We'll send you a new unit. They did. And the next one was fine. It didn't have that problem. But, I mean, it was like a certain spot. It would reach on the lake, and then, boom, it would disconnect. It would automatically. Now, it wouldn't the signal would get lost, and it would return to home would kick in with that. But I remember that distinctly. I had at least 3 times that happened to me.
All I'm saying is today I flew the Mini 4K and I flew that FIMI Mini version 3. And let me tell you what, that Mini 4K for $299 is just such a solid product. I was just looking at the video off the card. It looks really good. I get back to, why would you mess around with some of those second tier products like that FIMI Mini?
Especially when they're in the same price range as the superior Mini K4.
That's right. There's no financial advantage to it. And almost everybody I know. In fact, Tanya, she has a FIMI Mini. She had a very nearly almost exact experience with hers out at the Snake River Canyon. So anyway, I don't want to belabor that point.
Right.
Those are things that happen. I had a good day out flying, and I had fun flying with Tanya.
Yeah, good for you. My closing thought, Bill, would be that this little Neos keep us busy now, but I'm really more interested to see what the Air 3S has or whatever. You know what I mean?
I am too. Yeah.
The Neo is just a distraction for me. The something like the Air 3S is more in my wheelhouse. I'm more interested in seeing the specs and that and whatever. I don't need to come out next week or 2 weeks now, but I like to know some of the specs and what it has to offer. So I really like to just get past this whole Neo thing and really move on to the next drone. That's that may not be the popular opinion, but that's the way I feel.
Well, I kind of with me, Ron. I stand 100% in agreement with you, Ron. For me, the Neo has been a pleasant distraction from the bad news of the DJI Drone Ban, also along with the Action 5. I mean, very interesting. Of course I'm going to get it. It's affordable, and I think it's going to sell well. I think it's going to do very well for DJI. But like Ron, my real interest and my real focus is the Air 3S when it comes out. I think, and this is just this is nothing based in concrete, but we saw those pictures of the Air 3S after what appeared to be a crash. And I think what's happened is I think the Air 3S had been in the hands of the key influencers. I think they had their videos ready to go, and I think they ran into some software issues with it. And I think that's why it's been delayed, and I think that's why we haven't seen it yet. And again, I think that product's ready to go. I just think it's a software issue that DJI is currently working on, and that's why they went ahead and they flipped the release of the Neo. Now, maybe, and this is just, I'm just swinging from the hip, who knows? Maybe we'll get an email out tomorrow or Thursday about a launch, and it's not going to be the Neo; it'll be the Air 3S. Who knows? Okay,
or we forgetting about the Action 5 Pro, but
or the Action 5 Pro.
I was talking to a friend of ours. A name will go unmentioned here, but we were speculating for September. It's going to be a very expensive September and October for a lot of us.
You're probably
very
right.
Expensive.
And and the other thing is, Marcus had a great day today flying. Go out and fly what you have. Enjoy what you have. Have fun with it. That's why we're here. We like to have fun with our drones, And that's what we do. That's what all three of us do. And that's what I encourage all of you guys to do on. Okay. And keep tuned, we'll keep our ear to the ground. We'll let you know when we hear stuff. We'll get that information out to you guys. Thank you guys for a wonderful chat tonight. You guys were absolutely fantastic in the chat. You guys do a great job. You know, there's 77 of you guys watching tonight, which was awesome. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. That'll help us immeasurably to do that. And make sure if you hadn't watched last night's show, because that was a good show that we had on last night on Drone Nation. And I was
mostly thanks to Jasper for providing all that information.
Yes, and we thank Jasper for all that information. Guys, it's always a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest.